one of my previous careers, I supplied them their fleet. So, I still have a good link to them. So I know and I try to assist.
That's good of you.
I wanted to go back to that discussion about the reliability and ask you a little bit about how that's changed over the years. I didn't notice that there was a scale on the side of that slide showing what that yellow line showed. How has it changed and what do you expect
It's
these
1%.
days?
The absolute number is an increase of 1 percentage point.
So it's grabbing a percent change there, or is it?
Yeah, a percent change.
Okay. And what do you expect in terms of dispatch reliability now?
Above 99.
Above 99. Do all the planes meet that in your experience?
Some start better, some then dip and get back up to it. Some stay the whole time at it, but I think we have most of the planes between 98.5 and 100.
I saw that breakdown you gave, 295 planes worth $50 billion until 2025.
25. Yeah.
But I noticed that there was a slight tilt in favor of Airbus. Why is that so?
In terms of the numbers,
Yes.
in terms of the number of units, because we have selected the A320, and obviously that's more than, for example, on the long haul side. If you look at the dollars, the tilt is probably, I haven't run the numbers, but we're probably pretty close. And it's not like, yes, we want to have two manufacturers, but it's not like that I go out of my way and say, it's not the product I need, it's not this, it's not that, but I want the manufacturer. No, it has to fit. And like, when we had that campaign earlier this year to order the 100 Airbuses, which was in March, Boeing was there with a MAX, and it was like extremely tight. It could have gone MAX or NEO. I mean, this is one of the beauties of the Lufthansa system. We're not a state-owned airline, we're a private airline. We can basically, what the board decides, we can do.
It has nothing to do with financial terms? With
No.
terms of financing?
No, because we buy the aircraft. So we don't get export credit to start with, neither from Airbus or Boeing, because we are in a manufacturing country. And so what we are looking at is really what is the best fit, and where do we get the best life cycle cost. It burns down to financial things, yes, because the life cycle cost is a financial number, but it's not the financing itself, or it's not the upfront price. Because we are still in that comfortable position that just because somebody offers me something 5 million cheaper, and I know that over life I'll pay dearly for it, that we jump. We really look at the cost.
Nico, are all of those 130 A320 family aircraft you have on order now, are they all for replacement, or are we destined for some growth? Secondly, you mentioned earlier that the LCCs are operating obviously large numbers of A320s, A319s, etc. They're also beginning to operate A321s, and you have a lot of A321s coming. Are those aircraft going to be your future competition against LCCs, and are any of them going to go to German wings?
For the time being, the focus on German wings, we have to transfer a lot of aircraft, so the focus, I start with the last one, is 19 and 20s go to German wings. The 21s stay with Lufthansa passenger airline. If that is always that way, or if we can react. I mean, we own the aircraft, so we can shift the aircraft. The other question was, is it growth or replacement? It's both. The majority is replacement, because we are replacing the first generation A320s, which we have, the very early ones. They're all 200s, we don't have 100s, but they're all 200s, but still they will be replaced. And we're replacing the final 737 Classics.
Oh, yeah. And of course, there's a lot of A321s in there, so you're going up
We have
six as
already,
well.
we have some growth.
Yeah.
We have some growth in terms of numbers of aircraft in certain areas, and we have some growth because the seating capacity per aircraft on average is higher. Because if I replace a 737-300 with an A320, I already have 30 seats extra.
Sorry. Yeah, no, go ahead, continue. So, going in a slightly different direction from squeezing people into seats in the back, there are some interesting trends such as what Air New Zealand has with, I believe it's called the cuddle seat.
Skycouch.
Thank you, Skycouch. And nicknamed the cuddle seat apparently. And also your forthcoming premium economy. And I was wondering where, from your point of departure, this comes in terms of calculating both aircraft choices, seating, and all that, how you have to look at that in your perspective.
On the long-haul campaign, just to give you an idea, we ran the business cases based on 47 different layouts. I don't think we will fly 47 different layouts, but we know that we will not fly today's layout. Today's layout is one of the options, but is it a 2-class, is it a 3-class, is it a single class, is it a 4-class, is it whatever? Is it 10 abreast, 9 abreast, 8 abreast? What is the pitches we are using? How big will be the business section or the premium section? Call it the premium section, whether that's premium economy, business, or first class. But what is the combined of that? So we ran 47 different layouts for all the aircraft in order to assess what are the flexibilities which we're having, and again, would probably with 1 or 2 layouts be one aircraft better than the other. And we use them to consistent schemes, like it was a consistent evaluation, but at the same time, consistent does not mean that I stuck to the same seat manufacturer. If seat manufacturer A had a seat which was better suited for the Airbus and B better for Boeing, then we use those seats if they had similar comfort features. But because some of the features, be that the attachment points, be that the weights or whatever, we actually looked at these. So in a nutshell, we looked at like tons of data to assess what is the right aircraft for us, knowing that the layout of the aircraft will only be determined a couple of years before entry into service. The 350 pretty soon, because 2016 is tomorrow. The 777X, not so soon, because that's like a generation later.
And related to that, at what point do the clinic come into play? In other words, when you have 47, obviously you're not testing those, and that you're using data. At what point do you break it down to start to test more passenger comfort in the clinic?
But we'd probably test something like 10. But we want to know if we go out of those, because you test the highest probability versions. But what happens if those probabilities change? And the whole game of the whole airline industry is flexibility. And hence we have this huge data collection, like tons of data, which takes a little bit to assimilate, to present, and then to make a choice out of it. What we will use for the final business case, which we present to the supervisory board, it will be a blend of those layouts.
And just as a final, what is the time frame that usually elapses between the start of the data assessment, the clinic, and then the final decision? Torsten.
If we go for a brand new aircraft development, it's probably something like 3 years, 3 to 4 years. If we do just a reordering, that's just a couple of months. Because we have all the data, we just plug different numbers in.
Thank you.
Nico,
Oh, sorry, I forgot. No, ladies first, sorry.
No, I just want to kind of stay on his point, if you don't mind. Am I correct in seeing that the manufacturers are trying to work more closely with preferred seat providers?
Mm-hmm.
And is that something that helps you? 'Cause I can't tell from your answers, is that something that helps you? Or do you find that sort of removes some of your ability to, to manipulate the factors?
I think we like standardization on the technical point. We don't like standardization of the cabin because that's like, we all fly Boeings, we all fly Airbuses, Bombardiers, Embraers or whatsoever. But the differentiating factor is, of our product, is the service, is the network, is the pricing, and is the cabin. And so we want to keep a certain control of the cabin. And I think what we would like the manufacturers to do is a hybrid approach. There will be some smaller airlines who don't have that capacity, who are happy to use the catalog. And there is those bigger airlines, and there's plenty of them as well, who don't like the catalog because they are in some areas always a generation step ahead of the catalog.
Then in the case of the A350, how did you handle that?
We don't buy the catalog.
Just hit the
Sorry,
drop
I
down.
just switched this off.
You're not gonna take that?
No, we don't like the
It's really
catalog.
not,
We
we
won't
don't
take
like
it.
It's election day, so you have to say.
But that was part of the deal, is that you weren't gonna take our catalog seats.
Correct.
Really? For all cabins?
Well, the ultimate pressure point is we have Lufthansa Technik. I could always take an aircraft without anything and just
Sure.
tell Lufthansa Technik to build it in.
So,
And that is a certain pressure point not all the airlines have.
but you don't have to do that, you're not
No,
gonna.
and we won't do it.
Huh?
But that was the pressure point. We usually, part of the negotiation is find all the pressure points to motivate the manufacturers to improve their products.
Nico, you made an interesting comment earlier on about buying C-Series so that you could get Airbus to do what you wanted.
Well, we bought the C-Series because we had a requirement in that market segment, but at the same time, we knew that this was, the other part of the equation was also, we knew that with that we would get a significantly improved product from either Airbus or Boeing, because we knew that none of them could afford to sit still when a better aircraft comes onto the market.
So the follow-on then is, are you looking to Bombardier to stretch the C-Series?
Well, for the time being, we look at Bombardier to A, deliver the 100s and 300s, B, to get a couple more sales, and then we look at what further developments they can do. Yes, we all know technically there is probably a potential to stretch it further, but I think one step at a time. We've seen many aircraft manufacturers who did a ton of programs side by side, and they didn't succeed, so let's work it like the male way, no multitasking, one after the other.
Thank you.